So let's talk about Firefly, or Sam should I say, because now that we actually know that they're one and the same and not considered two different people anymore, we actually know quite a bit about Firefly through Sam. So I want to break down Firefly's backstory, and I think that'll actually help us answer some questions like her conversation with Akron and the Trailblazer at the end. It'll fill in some of the blanks, and her role in this script of Elio, Destiny's slave. I know that neither of these characters were as big of an impact in this quest like they were in 2.0, but I do think Sam or Firefly will play a huge part in 2.2, so let's break it down. But before I do that, I just want to discuss the elephant in the room here. I know there's actually a lot of mixed feelings that the Stellaron Hunter Sam is Firefly. Some people were pretty pumped, they thought it was a cool reveal, some people were unfazed by it, and some people were really disappointed because it sort of took the wind out of their sails that this badass Giga Chad character is now just Firefly. But if I'm being perfectly honest on how I felt about it and my thoughts on it, this is exactly how I felt in that moment. Get it? Because she's Samus? Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, an intergalactic badass warrior in a suit of armor turning out to be a cute girl is nothing new to me. I grew up in the 90s, and I've played Metroid. Also, I had two older brothers growing up playing Super Smash Bros. On the N64, and as a little brother, it's my duty to pick Samus and fire those annoying charge shot balls to piss off my siblings. All joking aside, I didn't have an issue with it. I thought it was a cool twist, and looking back at it, it sort of makes sense. Like, there's this scene here where the meme has her and she's about to transform but realizes it's not the time. But let's start with her origin and why she told Akron that she's never been able to dream. Republic of Glamoth is a fallen interplanetary nation based in Glamoth's star system. And there really isn't much known about Glamoth before it was attacked by the Swarm. Yeah, those gross ass insects that they raided their planet. But Glamoth was a really technologically advanced civilization, and they built fleets of warships that could travel around the star system. Another key factor in this war or apocalypse of Glamoth was, in order to turn the tide in the invasion of the Swarm, the ruling council resolved to alter the essence of humanity in an effort to adapt to the war, and created Empress Titania, an artificial weapon. They essentially created the Iron Cavalry and super soldiers, enhanced individuals and meta-humans, and the Empress would telepathically command and control the knights connected to her in the dreams that these warriors are woven into. The sole meaning of their existence is to guard Titania and her empire. In their short lives, they studied, fought, received the Empress's commands, and faced the enemy fearlessly and died with honor. No one knew their faces lying beneath the masks of the Iron Cavalry, but their arrival was like a gift from the gods, bringing the light of day back to the human world. Glamoth's Iron Cavalry finally turned the tide in this invasion, bringing a brief moment of peace to the Empire. But it wouldn't last because the attacks just kept coming and coming, so eventually the people started to see the Empress in her true colors, the weapon she was meant to be. These constant attacks taking its toll on her, even as an artificial created being or modified human from the council. And the people also figured out that she was created by the council. To put in simple terms, Glamoth had an entire huge galaxy of colonies, massively rich and technologically advanced empire, being attacked by the Swarm, being their colonies being picked off. So this government of Glamoth, I guess, the council, created this artificial being, Titania, to control these iron mecha cavalry, super soldier, modified humans, and gave Titania the title of Empress as a leader and figurehead for the people to inspire behind during this disaster and attack of the Swarm. But people started to figure out that she is definitely more of a weapon than an Empress, and that she's controlling the Iron Fleet, and people started to fear the Iron Fleet, seeing as that they were pretty aggressive and showed a lot of the same characteristics as the Swarm. This invasion of the Swarm would last literally decades, and the Iron Cavalry under the Empress would win. But after decades of bloody battles, the remains of mecha and insect limbs turned into dense debris floating around in space. And as it all started to cluster together, it would be known as the River of Death. So the Glamoth Empire had a brief victory before they realized that this debris would actually block out the sun and the daylight. And this would be the slow start of the civilization known as Glamoth to fade away into nothingness. And this debris can still be found to this day, flowing silently along the void of the old Glamoth Empire. That's actually an incredibly sad way to go, because blocking out the sun has long-term effects on the planet, vegetation, just the overall how the planet functions. Glamoth's entire republic would just fade away into nothing over time. Just all this space debris would cause such problems in their star system. And you know what's actually kind of not funny, but an interesting parallel? And this is a little fun fact for you. In our own planet right now on Earth, orbiting our own planet, we have a ton of debris, metal, old satellites, and space junk. Like, we have a problem. It's only getting worse and worse. And actually, as we speak right now, scientists are struggling to try to figure out a solution to how to clear up the space debris orbiting our planet right now. The problem is, you can't really use anything physical because you don't want to create more space dust and debris and broken parts trying to clear it up with an object or however they would do it, and eventually that's going to be a big problem for Earth, like, legitimately. Just a little fun fact for you, but it's a pretty hard problem to come up with a genuine solution for. Just an interesting parallel. The Empress is this artificial being designed to control the Iron Cavalry of Glamoth, which obviously you know what I'm getting to. Sam, the Stellar Hunter, is a part of that Iron Cavalry, or that's where Firefly comes from. And the Iron Cavalry is like a hive mind, with Titania being the queen bee. And now looking back at it, Firefly did say that her hometown was destroyed by the Legion of the Swarm. Man, they were throwing it right in our faces this whole time. In their short lives, they studied, fought, received the Empress's commands, and faced the enemy fearlessly and died with honor. Kafka did describe Sam as being incredibly efficient and ruthless, but not in a bloodthirsty way, but just because he's so efficient at following duties and orders. This kind of explains exactly why. Now we know why. Titania, with its sole purpose to command Glamoth's Iron Cavalry, hence why it states she had no real power. And it is said that she rebelled against her captivity, which I'm assuming means she rebelled against what she was created or programmed to do. I don't know if this Titania is like a program or an actual like person modified with mecha or in some way by scientists of Glamoth to just control the Iron Cavalry and just issue commands neurologically and all that. Like, she's sort of a slave to humans that created her, so she started just doing her own thing. And by no power, I think it means that she wasn't in control. She was never an empress. It's just how the program was perceived. Which makes me wonder about Firefly, because we know that she's at the very least part of this Glamoth Iron Cavalry. She's a super soldier, she was enhanced, and this would explain a lot of her dialogue with us and Acheron about not remembering the people that she's killed, not being able to have dreams of her own. From here we know that Sam joined the Stellaron Hunters and basically acts as the muscle. There's no need to hold back or no need for restraint. Hell, they sent Sam to recruit Blade, and Sam defeated Blade by force to take him in. It's strange to think that Firefly has killed many, and when it comes down to it, is ruthless, simply because that's her duty and why she was created in the first place. But the point is, this puts in perspective a lot of things. Her conversation with Acheron, her inability to dream, have her own dreams, follow her own path, and why it meant so much to connect with the Trailblazer. All members of the Iron Cavalry have been being issued commands since their creation from Titania. So Firefly probably struggles greatly with just perceiving things for herself, making her own decisions. Like she told Acheron, her duty was to put the Trailblazers on the path to investigate the family and the Watchmakers' legacy in Penacony. Firefly can also not understand why she failed, but obviously this was part of Elio's plan. Elio obviously wanted her to confront Acheron and the Trailblazers the way she did in order to set this whole path in motion, probably to prompt Acheron and Aventurine to have their confrontation, because we know there's still a Stellaron in Penacony and that the Stellaron Hunters are here for a reason. Elio probably planned all this, but Firefly just doesn't understand. Like she said, Firefly is not like Kafka, Silverwolf, or Blade. She's not like the other Stellarons as she tells us this. She is ideal in situations where you can just send her to clear house. There's no need for behind the scenes shenanigans, manipulation, trying to orchestrate events behind the scenes like on the Lawfu with Kafka. That is not who Sam or Firefly is. Obviously, Firefly infiltrating Penacony as a stowaway makes sense now that we know that she's a Stellaron hunter, that's what they do, but Sam is probably struggling in a land like Penacony where she was created for a specific purpose, to fight the swarm, to follow commands, to give 100% aggression with no hesitation. And I'm going to take this one step further. Is it even possible that Sam is also Titania, the artificial Empress and leader of the Iron Fleet herself? That could be a whole nother layer of her not being able to think for herself, being created for a specific purpose, issuing commands to the Iron Cavalry. And when they say the Empress held no power, this could just mean authority, not literal power, as Titania could have easily led the Iron Fleet herself with an iron suit of her own. Again, this is just a theory and just an option. I'm sure we'll find out more in 2.2 with this character, but Firefly is from the Republic of Glamoth, an enhanced super soldier and member of the Iron Cavalry. Or she could even be Titania and she's just controlling one of her mechas, hence Sam. And that Sam is Firefly, but Titania is Sam. And that Firefly has always been Titania, but just operating one of her mechas, this mecha being Sam, and just taking on the secret identity of Sam. Seen as that she can control mecha neurologically on command. That is what she was created to do, and she'd still have command of all mecha. There's literally a lot of different ways you could slice this up. Couple more things that actually kind of hint towards her being Titania herself, and one of them is this. The citizens of Glamoth, the everyday people, say that they saw a change in the Empress, in Titania, after the endless wars over and over and over, saw her change. This probably prompted her rebelling against whoever created her and rebelling against her created purpose, but how would citizens even see her make emotions or anything if she wasn't like a person, or at least an individual with the alias of the Empress, where most people probably didn't know her true purpose? I mean, you'd think that people would have had to see her out and about at some point, and her being a modified little girl or human turned into an artificial queen bee of the hive mind of the Iron Cavalry, like it kind of makes sense if you think about it. They would have had to see a specific individual change, and that's literally stated in Glamoth's history. That, and reason number 2, I think her being Titania actually gives her a little more significance. Like, if she's just one run-of-the-mill super soldier of the Iron Cavalry, I mean, that's fine, I guess, and joined the Stellaron Hunters and now is struggling to find her own way and just following Elio's script and whatnot. Like, that's kind of a cool story too, but I think her being the Empress puts a lot more significance on the character Firefly and will give her another twist in her story. You know, oh, the big reveal is that Sam is Firefly. Well, maybe the other twist that they're saving for 2.2 is that she's actually Titania also. And there's nothing saying that Titania couldn't have also had an iron body, mecha form, or is controlling one of her mecha forms and actually uses that herself. That is who she's using. Sam is the mecha form and one of the many iron soldiers that she's using herself, because she escaped Glamoth and she's just finding her way, following the script. It actually does make sense the more you think about it. She just seems like a lost character, trying to make connections with people, not just be a ruthless fighting machine, efficient at killing and following duties. Seems like she's evolving as a super soldier and as a character, even if she was created for one specific purpose, to kill the swarm, to follow orders from Titania, or if she's Titania herself. Seems like she's genuinely evolving, forming these connections and struggling to find herself, envying Akron of all people. Definitely a very interesting and layered character, much more than what you see on the surface. But that is essentially the character Firefly, aka Sam the Stellaron Hunter, her backstory and possible identity. Guaranteed know she's at least a member of the Iron Cavalry, that's where she comes from, but whether she's actually something more like Titania or something else, that remains to be seen. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on Firefly. I know she didn't play a huge part in 2.1, but I do think in 2.2 she's going to be very important. Like and subscribe for more content like this, help grow the channel. I really do appreciate you all watching this far, and as always, we will see you all in the next one. Later.